He just decided she's Nova now?
So we get the shock from Zira. We get kind of a pullback wide shot where we get to see the assembled crowd that is now completely silent. Like all of their when he's frantically running around and throwing things at him, all of a sudden it just stops.
Right.
That line, that capture, they're all. The rest of the crowd is in shock, or it's just our way we close this moment down.
Because the assistant AD said everybody hold positions. We were 5, 4, and we're okay. Check.
Got a hand over the camera. Keep looking here. Keep looking here.
But he was captured, and all the commotion just dies. We get a tight shot of just kind of the shock of the crowd, like, oh,
he can talk.
Well, and you also get Jerry Goldsmith, dun, 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 kind of score moment, which is maybe a little heavy-handed, but I've already said a ton about it. It's, to me, watching this time this way with you guys, I begin to see that this score is as important to this film as Williams is to Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. If you had something lighter or just something more traditional, it wouldn't be the same.
No, I mean, he lets us know when things are foreign. He lets us know when there's danger, a revelation, there's danger, any of it. The first of this film doesn't work without him. So I had that feeling as it hung on that shot of just, man, this guy's seriously better than I ever knew he was.
He knows what he's doing, maybe?
Yeah, and
maybe they picked him for a reason?
Maybe at some point, because I love scores so much, maybe I start a podcast talking about scores, because I think I could talk about him for a day. He's awesome. Anyway.
Scores by the minute.
I'm so score of this.
All right, so then we're shifting inside. We now have him with Nova. Our previous named Savage Woman is Nova.
Has a Nova name.
He's back in his cell. Some time has passed because they are cuddling on the floor again of the cell. There are no other humans in any of the other cells at this point. But despite the fact that he was in the custody of the Ministry of Science now, somehow Zero was able to
keep him in the same place that he was before.
With about to be named Savage Woman. Like it's
almost as they had a set up that they wanted to keep her using.
But what I'm saying is, she's no longer in power in the situation, yet somehow he ends up back in the cell, and she ends up back in the cell with this woman.
Yeah.
Like they all be like, well, okay, cool. We'll give him something right now.
Keep him placated.
Yeah, I thought she would have lost her ability to kind of govern at this point, but somehow some of that stuff is still happening. And that may have been Julius who allowed her to be back in the cell. But I don't know where everybody else is.
So you asked about why he names Nova that, and I just became curious and went and searched it. Sorry, I'm getting sound through my computer.
Muted.
Yes, muting that. So, Nova through dictionary.com, a star that suddenly becomes thousands of times brighter and then gradually fades to its original intensity. Is he saying, now I am seriously thrusting a meaning on something that's not meant to have meaning, but in that moment, is he saying you are the brightest thing that I have?
Thrust your meaning on that.
I knew that was coming, and I deserve your thrusting jokes, but... Why would he pick Nova?
What was the rationale behind that? I don't know. Chevy Nova?
It could be later on, maybe.
Well, he's an astronaut, so
and
his
that's what I thought.
inspiration itself might be from the stars.
Right.
So he kind of wakes up and he goes, no one will listen to me. Only you, Nova. Like he's trying to get her to say it.
Yeah.
Nova.
Right.
Nova. That is your name.
For all we know, the N in ANSA is American Nova Space Administration.
Could be.
I don't know. We've never actually looked up what the ANSA stands for.
I did love that right away, in this moment of pillow talk, that she takes a moment to put a finger to his lips, like, shut up.
The first time he has the ability to speak, she tells him to shut the F up.
And I know it... I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say, I know it's from a safety thing that he's dangerous talking as a human, but, viewing this minute by minute... She did what Dodge and Landon wanted to do all along, and in 1 minute she was like, shut it.
I mean, Dodge figured out the key is just to walk away. Unfortunately, that ends up with you being stuffed in a museum.
Right.
She just, shut.
But when you're gorgeous like she is, you can just put a finger and go, gee.
So the script that I found online that I've been kind of using for my notes that had, some quotes wrong here, actually he has an entire kind of moment at the beginning of this where he's like, and that's when I decided to take up astronautical engineering. You see,
I was halfway through astronography.
Astronautical engineering, you see, and I was halfway through college, and it's an old trick, the silent treatment. 4 weeks and 3 days, not a word from anyone, not Zero or Cornelius or that damn Julius. No one will listen to me except for you, Nova.
Man,
Nova.
you want to talk about a smooth pickup line? Let me talk about everything that's happened to me and how horrible it's been. Oh, and by the way, you're Nova.
I am lying on the floor, spilling my life guts out.
By the way, it's been 4 weeks since I've seen anybody else. I guess you'll do.
Talking about my degree. No one will listen. Not
My
Zero.
degree.
Not Julia.
No wonder she wants to shut his ass
I know,
up. He's
exactly.
boring.
Let me show you my class ring. Like it was like this.
Here's a witty rejoinder for you.
So it's just kind of funny that it opens up and he's just kind of stroking. They're kind of cuddling and stroking and all the hair and all that stuff. And no one will listen to me, only you.
He's doing
and
the
then he
humble
names
brag.
her. He finally gives her a name. A name
Yes.
sandwich woman becomes Nova. And then after she kind of silences him, right? Which seemed to be cute to me. Didn't seem offensive.
No,
He was
she doesn't
like,
mean it
oh,
offensive.
that's cute,
Right.
right? He belittles her. Yeah, me Tarzan, you Jane.
Yeah,
Yes.
what was that about?
Wow.
It's an interesting bit of pop culture in that I understand why he brings it in, and I understand
Because
why it's
she's
relevant to
literally
that.
dressed like a savage.
And
Yeah.
and you know, and once again, it's relevant to our audience. They can immediately go, "Oh, I get what he's saying."
Yeah.
But isn't the truth that it would be opposite?
She Tarzan, he Jane.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the smart one. Tarzan was supposed to be
That's
the
right,
one that's
that's
from
right.
the jungle, and Jane
Yeah.
was the civilized one. Yeah.
As soon as he said it, I found myself pondering. I was like, you might want to strike that and reverse it.
Around. Well, let's see if this goes back. The script again. The script that I have says, "Yeah, me Tarzan, you Jane. That's all right. I had a puppy once that never barked.
What?
He just licked my hand. He's dead now.
What?
They're all dead.
Holy crap.
I think maybe they'll kill me too. Are they afraid of me? I can't hurt them, but I can threaten them somehow. Threaten their faith in simian superiority. Yeah, you're right. They'll have to kill me.
Oh yeah. I'm glad all that's not in there.
I know.
So seriously, did the director on the set go, this stuff
Take
sucks?
that out.
He's dead now. They're all dead now. I'm waiting for the by my hands crunch.
Me Tarzan, you Jane. That's all right. I had a puppy once who never barked.
Holy cow. And when it did bark, it got the shit kicked out of it.
All I can say is anybody watching these movies to learn how to pick up women, you might want to turn elsewhere if that were
Yeah.
in the movie. God almighty.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna get some great pickup in a little bit.
What can I say?
That's right.
Their housing technology might be rough. Their buildings might look like bedrock and stuff like that. But their fire hose technology is on point. I mean, that hose looks like something you could have picked up at the fire hose store.
That's true. Well, they have their skills.
Guns.
Leather making, right?
Leather
We
making.
know they had running water because they had the fountain.
Cameras.
Guns.
Cameras with flashes. They have that.
Oh yeah, they
technology.
have cameras with all the metal working to make bits and stuff and leather working for the horses.
But hoses are the true advancement
Oh
of the
yeah,
society.
I mean nylon and the hose tip on it.
Oh, you're talking
Wow.
about the how the hoses were manufactured.
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
mean-
fairly certain, without going back 150, 200 years, we had, powerful water hoses and plumbing before we actually had electricity. So
Sure.
I could see where those would come about. But
Yeah,
the
but what I'm
manufacture of the hoses are fantastic.
What I'm saying is their metal bars are kind of bent. They're prison, but their fire hose is meticulous
There is a little bit of that when you watch it that the set design
versus practical
yes,
props.
are true props.
Yeah.
Because how do you design a fire hose
That
and
looks
make it
like-
look primitive?
Like Apes built it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have dressed it with some kind of fibrous material so it looked like they spitballed it together, but it is truly an effective fire hose. And I think anybody that at that time was spraying down students on a campus somewhere probably would have enjoyed having it.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously a reference to that very type of image that we saw time and time
Civil
again at
rights
that
and all
era.
that, yeah.
So what was the point of this next moment? Julius and two guards. Julius
Yeah.
and two guards come in, and they open up the hose, and they just basically start
Hosing them down.
hosing them down. Specifically Taylor, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And they're kind of in this process of separating Nova
Right.
and Taylor,
Right.
and I can't remember exactly how it moves. Just do we get her to the next cell at this point, or is it still just the water hose as this minute ends?
As I have it,
It's the water hose.
the water hoses, and we know that she's being taken. We don't know completely what the separation is at this point, but that's kind of where it leaves us. So as effective as I think that water hose is, I did wonder, is it harsh enough to keep Taylor from going after her, because it did kind of feel like I'd got my garden hose from the back and putting a really good spigot on the end of it.
All I know is at one point there was a gorilla that puts his back to him, and if Taylor had just done his forearm smash, all these problems would have been solved. He would have been out of there. Him and Nova living happily.
So I have to bring up a flub in that moment too. Did you notice that one of the gorillas gets hit by the water and the wig he's wearing flaps forward, and you can literally see it's probably a skull cap, like a dark skull cap that they have. But I started going, do gorillas wear toupees? Because it seriously looks like a moment like the toupees come forward. It looked like Donald Trump had been out there and the wind had taken the toupee.
Toupee pay?
I don't mean to offend anybody about Donald Trump. If you like him, that's for another podcast.
There you go. It's a toupee pay.
Toupee pay.
But I actually found the water hose very jarring. Yeah. Like it was very. We come with this. We had the commotion outside with this very quiet moment inside, which according to the script was longer than it was actually intended to be, and then the water hose coming was just kind of very jarring. Right. I was jarred. I was
Well, I think it's effective.
Poor Richard.
I do think it's effective, and especially that if we're going to, as we've so duly noted, take the struggles of your current day and transpose them into a foreign setting like a Planet of the Apes, it speaks volumes, and it works, but I still can't help but think that looked more like a garden hose than a firefighter hose.
Do you think it's Julius that's hosing Taylor down?
That's what I thought.
No, it's Julius.
Yeah, I don't know.
So. Julius hates his ass.
I think so because...
Well,
I think so because there are lines upcoming.
Oh, well, maybe. Well, I haven't seen the future minute, so we'll see.
Well,
if it is,
Richard's looking into the future.
Do a job you love, and you'll never work a day. Julius is just enjoying it.
We're going to put a picture of Richard on the website where he looks into the future
with my crystal ball.
Looking into the future, as you can see me making this position right.
So it probably should be mentioned. Sean has not watched this movie all the way through, so he does not know a lot of the future stuff. So as we go through this, Sean is watching these minute by minute. So apologies to Sean if I'm spoiling anything about it, but I think from the garb we could tell that this was Julius.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely
I identified him when he walked in, specifically by his outfit.
Well, I identify him by that weird gait that he has. He's one of the true that tries to bring that.
He does, left and right.
Tries to really waddle like a gorilla. So to me, because of that, there's no doubt it's Julius.
Well, he had lines. I mean, he's acting.
Well, that's true.
As opposed to sandwich eating guard number
acting.
Mushing mouth.
Exactly.
Mushing face hand in the face.
And now I don't have the note in front of me. I did find out that guy that I had said was nothing more than an actor that had come from greasing somebody's suspension at a garage somewhere. Mm-hmm. That dude had a career that went, and I'm sorry I don't have it in front of me.
He won an Academy Award.
All I can say is if his
knighted.
If his family ever heard this, I mean no ill will.
That actor was Sir Alex Guinness.
Yes, it was. But he literally went on to have a career that spanned 50 years. So sorry about it.
I'll have to look this guy up now.
Yeah, I wish I had that in front of me. But anyway.
Well, that's all I have.
Yeah, do you guys do you want to talk any more about the water hose and move to the next water hose moment?
I think we're going to the next watershed moment.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps it up. If you want to find us online, you can go to minuteoftheapes.com or email us at podcast@minuteoftheapes.com, where you can find all of our information and reach out to Sean. Hey. Sean likes to get emails.
He is our email aficionado.
So as always, thank you guys for this minute. And join us tomorrow. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Oh, we're going to feel so horrible tomorrow after last night's revelries.
And then, we decided to really go hair of the dog and chase it right now, too.
There we go. Let's have some words.
All right, guys. So please rate, review, subscribe, and share. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
The Minute of the Apes.